Okay, so hey, a lot of the stuff today that we're going to talk about is going to be review. So there's keywords. I didn't write out the definitions for the keywords, but I can mention them if you're like, don't know what that is, okay? So I'm going to say some keywords. I might talk about them, but I'm not really going to write about them, okay? So I don't know how much, like what your notes are going to look like today. Probably a little crazy, okay? So let's talk about some keywords. Here they are. And you're going to think, oh, we're not in fourth grade. The x-axis. Oh, and remember, this is a little different than last year in He Who Shall Not Be Named's class, in that you don't have to write down everything. If you already know what it is, you don't need to write it down. It's in your memory vault. It's in your bank vault. Everybody has a math vault, right, in their brain, and you have to open it up and kind of dig stuff out of there. Your math vault's going to get bigger this year. Okay, so x-axis and y-axis. Just remember that the x-axis goes that way, and the y-axis goes this way. Just remember that the origin is right in the middle. So the origin. Oh, and also, you're going to learn that I am quite the artist. Like, I have some drawing skills that are amazing. There we go. That's the origin right there. The coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. 0, 0. Okay, so that's the origin. No duh. The quadrants. Oh, okay. I'm going to write the quadrants because this is one of the few times in life, besides using, besides like in English class, that I actually get to use Roman numerals. And yes, I would expect you to use Roman numerals too. Ready? If I said, hey, what are the quadrants? The quadrants are I and I and I and IV. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Those are the quadrants. Remember that now? Because it really has been, what, 5 months. For 5 months now, you've been like this. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to eat. I'm going to watch some stuff. And then I'm going to sleep. And then at some point, it was like, I'm not going to go to sleep until 4 a.m. I'm not going to wake up until like 2. Hmm. All right. I still have a teenager. Well, she's not at home anymore. College life. So for 5 months, that's kind of how your mentality has been. It's the longest break that you've been away from school forever. Before kindergarten was the only other time. Okay, so this is just a wake up to your brain. All right, x coordinate and y coordinate. What am I talking about there? The x coordinate is always first, and the y coordinate is always second. Yeah? Good. And if that was it, man, we could just stop. Everybody would be happy. And then we would just study that the entire year. Let's plot points for first quarter. And then for second quarter, let's label what quadrants they're in. Yes. Wouldn't that be awesome? No, it wouldn't. It would be boring. We need challenge. 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is really bad on my behalf. A linear equation is y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. It's kind of like the price line negotiator theme. Price line negotiator. But this is y equals mx plus b. And b is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where does that line hit the y-axis? Where does it intersect it? And that was like algebra 1, right? Y equals mx plus b. There's another one that came along, and it was this one, ax plus by equals c. But it had not a really cool name. Does anybody remember? So this was slope-intercept form. This one was kind of a boring name, but standard. Really, I'm not going to use standard form. And then there were some, maybe even some rules that went along with standard form, like a couldn't be negative, or I don't know, like they had to be whole numbers or something goofy. And I'm like, mm-mm. But sometimes it's more useful to use standard form. Sometimes it's more useful to use slope-intercept form. But because the power of x is 1 and y is 1, it's going to graph a line. It's going to make a line. Okay? That's why they're called linear equations, because they make a line if I were to graph them. Don't worry, we're not graphing yet. Okay, what's over here? Oh, okay. Hey, if I were to cover this by up with my hand, sorry, you folks watching online, but right now I'm covering up by with my hand in class. If I were to cover up by with my hand, it would just be ax equals c. So if the y is gone, it's a vertical line. Oh, we need to talk. Maybe I should draw that. So like you're like, what are you talking about? If it was an equation like this, x equals 6. If I said graph that puppy, I would go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I would go like this. Hey, that's a vertical line. That's how you would graph x equals 6. People forget that one, okay? Because on this green line, every x value is 6. It doesn't matter what y is. Y could be 1,000,000. X is still 6. Y could be negative 1,000,000. X is still 6. Okay? So it's a vertical line. And then what do I have under here? It's a surprise. You just never know what's under here. I don't know either because I didn't preview this morning. I just clicked. What is this? If c equals 0, it goes to the origin. I better graph that too. If c equals 0, it goes to the origin. So what does that mean? If it was like 2x plus 3y equals 0. The line would look like this. Aw, dang it. It's so difficult with the Smart Slate. Aw, dang it. I want to change colors also. The line would look like that. It goes through the origin. Okay? Now, it might have positive slope or it might have negative slope. I did a little thinking, like while I was trying to stall because I was thinking also. I was like, wait a second, which way is this line going to go? Is it going to go like that or is it going to go like that? Because I had to think and I had to say, this is in standard form, which messes me up anyway, because I would much rather use slope-intercept form, but this one's in standard form. So then I had to think in my head, okay, this guy's got to go over here. Y equals mx plus b. That would be 3y equals negative 2x. And then I would divide by 3. And I knew that the slope was negative 2/3. Oh, negative 2/3. Slope going down. Positive slope. Negative slope. I'm sure you thought that too. What's the other? There's something else, and I never remember it. If it's in standard form like that, you can find the slope. Is it like negative b over a or something like that? Whatever. See, that's the thing. Maybe it's negative a over b. Maybe it's negative b over a. I don't know either. So my mind just runs through what would the slope be? It would be negative 2/3. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it is negative a over b. See? I just never memorize it because I just do it the hard way. Okay, and then if x is gone, then it's a horizontal line. I better draw this one too. So if it was y equals 4, I would just go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Horizontal. That's the best line I can draw. It's so bad. It's a challenge with the Smart Slate because you can't see what you're writing. It's a skill that I'm still mastering. Any questions about this slide? So I used to have a feature where I could click this button right here. Sorry, online users. Where I could click that button right there. And it would do a split screen. And then, you know how like I kind of ran out of, I can't see everything up there. And I used to be able to see everything. So then I was like, I'm going to call Canada because that's where this company is. And so 2 days ago, I called Canada and he's like, good day, eh? I think he really did at some point say eh. And I said, hey, this feature went away. I can't use it anymore. He goes, you have to pay now $109 a year. So we have 24 in this room. 109 divided by 24, $5. I'll just take $5 and then we'll be good to go. Yeah, I'm going to make a little profit, but that's okay. Boom. And then we would have that button back. And it's only good. I said, oh, is that like for a lifetime? No, that's per year. What? I still have like 7 years to go. So I'm thinking that's 800. So now I'm thinking I may try to get the school to buy it. Click. Oh, all right. At least they didn't take away this because I like to use this feature a lot. It's called the shade, like the screen shade or whatever. I like that a lot. Okay. So up until this point, it's kind of been pretty easy stuff, right? And now you are just about ready to laugh at the distance equation. Huh, I've known the distance equation since 8th grade. Huh, oh yeah, I've known it since 7th grade. Hmm, how could the distance equation get hard? Oh, it can get to be a challenge, as we'll learn on our homework tonight. Oh yeah, it will. And that's okay. Remember, always give every section at least 2 days. Like, don't freak out tonight. In fact, that really should be our class motto. Don't freak out. After 2 days, that's when you would ask for a pass. Hey, I need to come in during lunch. Okay, come on in. We'll eat apples together. Actually, we wouldn't. Well, I guess we could, social distance. At the junior high, after they eat lunch in their classrooms, the kids have to exit the room and then they come through each classroom with a mister. Mister? I guess that's the right word. Hey, mister. No, it sprays mist. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Who are you going to call? Class, mister. Okay. Do you remember what these mean? The x2 just means the second x. The x1 just means the first x. You don't do anything with the x's. It's a location. It's a placeholder. And this means second y and first y. But then some people learned that it doesn't matter which one x1 is and x2 is, or which one y1 is or y2 is, because you get the same answer if you were to take those two and flip them and those two and flip them, right? Kind of weird, but you're squaring it, so that gets rid of like the negative, the extra negative that you would get normally if you would flip it. Okay, so that's the distance equation. I don't know. We'll do something with that. Equidistant. New word? New word. Equidistant means same distance. Shocker. If we have time, I will do an equidistant problem, which could get really messy because I haven't prepared it yet. So it wouldn't be a nice book problem. It would be probably a crazy decimal problem. But my Texas Instruments ready for that. Okay, equidistant means same distance. Do, 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 do. Oh, another oldie but goodie. The midpoint formula. How do you find the midpoint? You average the x's and you average the y's. That's a 1, not a comma. That's a really bad. That's a 1. Y1, and that's x1. Allison, yesterday, our neighbors at the corner, they were doing a little dog training lesson in their driveway.
I saw that. There's like 5 dogs.
I know. And guess what mistake I made? You know, Mindy, the wonder dog? That's my dog. She hates other dogs. And I just said, hey, Mindy, let's go to the park. And then instead of coming home from the park my normal way, I decided to, let's go see, are they out playing tennis or whatever? So we were just kind of driving around. And then we drove by my neighbor's house and they're having dog class and Mindy's freaking out in the car and all these other dogs are behaving like perfect. And then there's Mindy just like, wasn't good. And some people would say, oh, she just wants to go out there and play with the other dogs. No, she wants to go out and kill the other dogs. She has attacked 2 of the dogs that were there. I'm serious. We had Mindy in our front yard, and they, on separate occasions, 2 of those dogs their owners were walking them, and Mindy would go up and like start going for their neck. Like we would have to physically, so Mindy's no longer allowed.
The house next to you with like all the trucks,
Yeah.
They have a lot of dogs too.
They do. They have 2 big Siberian Huskies.
And they have like little ones.
They had the little ones inside, but they had 2 huge Siberian Huskies that you'd never see.
I've never seen them.
They're in the backyard.
Wow. They're weird people.
They're our neighbors. They're our neighbors.
I've never talked to them.
Well, time to get to know them. Next time that you're selling candles or something for something, you will go. If you're nervous, just knock on my door first. We'll walk over there. All right, midpoint formula, easy, yeah? Okay, good. What's next? What's next? Slope. And you're thinking, I already know all this stuff. How could this be a challenge? Oh, just wait. It's rise over run. It's change in y over change in x. These are these little triangles with a shaded side. That's delta y and delta x. Like later on in college, a lot of college professors like to try to use fancy stuff just to make themselves look smarter. And so they might use deltas, and all it means is just change in y, change in x. And in science class especially, they like to talk about the delta temp, like the delta temperature. Just get used to it. They're trying to put themselves up on a pedestal. You can knock them down. I already know what that means. What's next? So any big questions on these three? You're going to have homework problems that are going to require you to decide which one of these three do I have to use? Are we talking about midpoint? Are we talking about slope? Are we talking about distance equation? Okay. So it's not going to say, like how in your old books it would say, use the distance equation 20 times for the next 20 problems. Not going to do that. Sorry. Okay. There's your homework, but don't write that down yet. Hey, do you remember the elimination method and the substitution method enough? Because it's been 5 months, well, 4.5 months, to find the intersection with elimination or substitution. Do you remember which one's more fun? Which one brings you more joy? Elimination or substitution? There's only one right answer. Elimination. Isn't it fun to cancel out those? No? Do we need an example? Because I will show you. Let's say that it was something like this. X plus 5y equals 10. And it was 3x minus 2y equals 9. Now, if you're a glutton for punishment, you would do substitution. But if you were looking for something fun to do, you'd say, woo, I'm going to multiply this whole bottom equation by -3. And that would be -3x minus 15y equals -30. And then the other equation just kind of drops down. Like that. And then through elimination, this is kind of fun. Wait. Whoosh, gone. That's much more satisfying than substitution. -17y equals -21. Blah, blah, blah. Do you remember that now? Flashback to algebra class? Good. Hey, once I solve for y, I don't know what it is. Let's say it was 2. It's not. But let's just say it was 2. What would you do with the 2 if y equals 2 and you still had to solve for x? Then you would plug it back in. It doesn't matter if you pick either one of these green ones or either one of these black ones. Like you can plug it into any one of those 4. Actually, these 2 are the same. But it doesn't matter which one. You would just substitute in. Safest one to plug it back into would be this one, I guess, huh? And then solve for x. Easy? Okay. So let's do one more example. Because you know how you were feeling super confident about these equations here. I would like to knock that confidence down. It's okay, but only through that process will you learn. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say that I had some points. Let's say that they were 3, 5, and 2y are equidistant 2. Hmm. 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 Negative 4, 10. Solve for y. I totally just made this up. Totally. Just made it up. I hope it works. It's not going to. It'd be awesome if it did, but I really don't think it's going to. Okay, so 3, 5, and 2y are equidistant to negative 4, 10. And so sometimes with problems, you may have to revert back like to the first slide. Like you may have to go back here. Plotting points. Oh, wait. Yeah, you might have to go back here and plot points just to see what's going on. So let's try that with this problem, just for the heck of it, because I don't know what to do yet. 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dot. I'll call that A. Why not? And then 2y. Oh, I can't, but I don't. Where's the, huh? 2y. I can't even plot point B. Okay, but then I can plot point C, right? So C is 4 to the left and then 10 up. I am not going to mark 10 spots, but I'm going to call that C. Okay, okay, okay. So equidistant means what? The same distance. So that means that the distance from A to C is the same as the distance from B to C, equidistant. But I don't know where B is at. I know that A is sitting right there, and I know C. So I can figure out that distance, right? But but I don't know where 2C is. Or sorry, 2Y. So 2Y is going to be 2 to the right, but I don't know where it's at. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's like down here because it's got to be the same distance from here to there as it is from here to there. So I'm going to guess it's up here somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. I think we could figure it out in under, heck yeah, in under 10 minutes. Let's do it. Here we go. Texas Instrument. Hello, Tex, my friend. Sometimes I could loan it out, but you guys have Chromebooks now, so you have a calculator at some point. Okay, okay, okay. So I know that the distance from A to C is this. Is it all coming back? Seven squared is 49. Negative 5 squared is 25. Square root is 74. Okay, so I know that this distance is a very solid square root of 74. Yay. It's like 8 point something. Okay. I don't know what it is. I don't even care what it is. It's the square root of 74. That's very accurate. Now what? If I want to solve for y, what do I have to do with point B? So this is how this class kind of works. Like you got to know what the word equidistant means, and then you're going to have to associate equidistant with the distance equation. So you're going to have to connect a couple things in your brain, and then you're going to say, hey, I don't know where point B is, but I know what the distance is from C to B. I know what the distance is from C to B because it's got to be the same. It's got to be the square root of 74. So anybody got a clue what to do? It's like Blue's Clues, which was on TV this morning, by the way, like on PBS. Okay, so let's write out what the equation would be for BC. Here we go. BC. And you're like, this isn't going to work, Blanchard. This isn't going to work. Let's try it anyway. The distance from B to C is 2 minus -4 and y minus 10 squared. And you're like, see, I told you it's not going to work. Except I already know what that answer is. What does that answer have to be? It's got to equal the square root of 74. Because at the very beginning of the problem, it said that they were equidistant. By the way, I'm picking the hardest problem in the world. Shocker. Wake up your brain. So let's do this. Here we go. That's 6 squared, 36. Ah, tartar sauce. I now have to use the F word in class. We have to FOIL. We have to FOIL. Do y'all remember how to FOIL? Because it was March. You guys got, everything got put on pause in March. March 17th-ish. St. Patrick's Day was about ready to happen. Everything unplugged. Everything. Let's do foiling, shall we? If I were to FOIL this thing, I would have to write y minus 10 twice. You remember that? This is a little sidestep. Let me do it in a different color. Ready? FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. Yikes. That's going to go right here. Yikes. And you're like, Blanchard, still not going to work. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it will. So then this is going to be y squared minus 20y plus 136. Hello. Has to equal the square root of 74. Now what? Now what? Any clue what to do? Did the square root symbol scare you? I don't like equations that have square root symbols. Well, what can I do to get rid of square root symbols that just happen to be on both sides of the equation? Square both sides. Is that legal? What you do to one side, you do to the other side. Square both sides. So if I square both sides, this guy doesn't change. And guess what? This guy doesn't change. Oh, snap. Your book problem is going to be way, way easier than this one. Okay? Because watch what I got to do next. I got to subtract this 74, right? So it's going to be y squared minus 20y plus, what am I subtracting? 74. So that's 62 equals 0. And then, which I don't think you're going to have to do, but then I would have to use the quadratic formula. This is awesome. Okay, but So we're gonna push the pause button there, okay? And here's why. Um, what you guys are gonna need to know how to do for the homework is the green stuff, okay? Because then remember at the very beginning I said this answer is gonna turn out ugly. It's really gonna be bad. This is not gonna be good, okay? If you understand the green stuff, like, hey, why did you put those equal to each other? Then you're okay. Okay. And by the way, this was as hard a problem as I could pick. So what you're going to do, so I could do the quadratic formula and I'd get a value and it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be really close to the other one. If you want me to finish it tomorrow, I can. Okay. So what you're going to do, first step that you're going to do is not freak out, right? You're not going to freak out because this is the assignment right there. So page 5. And you're like, it's only 8 problems. It's only 8 problems. I'll be done in 8 minutes. No. But I want you to look at each problem, try the ones that you can, and then if you don't even know, hey, is all this for Cruiser? Oh, oh, thank you. Yeah. Cruiser, this is for you. Okay, okay. And then you're going to try to do problems, right? And then you're not going to freak out if you don't know how to do it because like my class tomorrow, what my plan is to go through homework problems. That's part of the notes. It's just I want you guys to try them first. And then after I go through the problems, if you're still really, really lost after tomorrow, then you can kind of freak out a little. Okay, but not much. Because the first section's difficult. How much of that water did you drink yesterday? Nice. Oh, I got to pause this. Sorry. You online people, I say goodbye to you. 3, 2, 1. Good day.